On one of the busiest streets in the city of Downey, California, sits James C. Rives Mansion, a National Historic Registered property that was built more than 100 years ago. The mansion is currently being restored and will become home to the Rives Mansion Steakhouse and Wine Gardens next year. Ralph Verdugo, Downey resident and owner of the steakhouse, has been restoring the home and preparing for the restaurant to open. But it has not been an easy task. He has been met with challenges not only by the building, but by the residents who are not sure if they want to see a historic home become a restaurant.
I always say it's a lot more expensive to restore than to build new. A lot more expensive to restore, especially on a historical property. But yeah, we did it. A lot of challenges. I think the biggest challenge was convincing the community that I wasn't like the past owners, no offense to the past owners, but I think I took the time and the love and the passion to do things right, to restore it. If we removed the piece of redwood, we put a piece of redwood back. There was no shortcuts. It would have been a lot cheaper for me to buy new hinges, to buy new door locks, buy new doors, buy new windows. But being that historical, I couldn't, and I wouldn't allow myself. So we put the time, the elbow grease in, and did it right. We put everything back to its original condition. And once a lot of the residents started coming in, I'll give them a little tour. Then they started believing in me. Right now, they see what I've done with the place. They see that I'm doing it right.
The mansion has a water tower that is also more than 100 years old and was leaning. Verdugo and his team of engineers and mappers were able to restore the water tower completely.
So there was a lot of thinking, a lot of engineering, things that you can't learn in books. I think every single guy that was here working on that tower learned something very important, how to restore a water tower, a 100-something-year-old water tower. And I think that was the most challenging piece of the whole project, was that. One thing I say is, you could have the best contract in the whole wide world building whatever you're building, but it takes a special kind of contractor, or a special kind of person to guide and to lead in a restoration on a historic project. You can't. Most guys, it's okay, knock it down. No, you don't knock it down. Pull the screws, get a little bag, pull the screws, and number the bag and number the hinge. I'm like, that's too much. That's the way I want it done. And guys would think that I was not micromanaging, but a little too tedious with doing things like that. But at the end of the day, when you put the door back, where's the screws? In the bag, tape right behind the screw. Oh, that's right, it's so easy. It saves you tons of times, and you put the original screws back on, and that's just the minimum. When we're here, when we did the windows and doors, the house over 100-something years shifted, and it's back and forth, up and down, side to side, without the earthquakes, and it stood up really well. The windows, none of the windows open in this house. So here now, both windows open, the top and the bottom. I had no idea that the top window opened. I never knew that. The actual the head of building and safety inspector, he's the one that came over, and he said when he was a kid he used to work on those windows. So he gave me a trick how to take them apart. I had a bid for about $25,000, almost $30,000 to redo the windows. Inspector said, you don't have to. You got good guys here. They know how to mechanics. So you got my guys, give them a quick look. We redid all the windows for a fraction of that price. But we did them right. We did the right casters, we used same casters, just restored them, new ropes, and the windows, we took all the paint off down to the wood, so virgin wood. So it was a challenge, and it was time consuming. A lot of thousands of man hours have gone into this project, dealing with the details. The floor, we had to redo the floor, gosh, 4 times. And finally, when we got the look I was looking for, that's it. They're like, oh, now we understand what you were looking for. Especially at nighttime, when you see the floors at night, it just, especially in the wood area, it's just the way it's like wine. It's just amazing. It's just incredible.
According to Verdugo, there is still a lot of work to be done, and are not finished with all the restorations, because they are making sure they do it right.
About 15 people at a time. For the outside, we're probably going to have maybe 25 guys at one time. every single day, 6 days a week, working on it. We're going to work as late as we can, as early as we can, and as late as we can. You know, I wish we could work around the clock. But, you know, when you're in a budget and in a historic house, if I was building a house from the ground up, I'll tell you exactly how much it's going to cost. Not a dollar over. And I know my budgets, but when it comes to historic, it's you don't know. I don't care how tough or how good you are and you're estimating, you don't know. You know, something might be solid and beautiful and it cracks and it's just opening up a new kind of worms. Just you're following and repairing. That's how it's not search and destroy, it's search and repair. You know, and you gotta do it right.
Verdugo looks forward to the day when everything is done, and the community will be able to come and enjoy all the effort that has gone into restoring the Rives Mansion.
Somebody had told me that behind some drywall, there was some original writing from Rives, and so I went in and I removed the drywall of this wall here, and look what we found. Rives. He did the counting here. How cool is that? Imagine him many years ago writing his name on. Let me tell you the boxes they pulled from the field. The south of house, west of house, northwest of house, upper field. How great was it that Mr. Rives would actually get in there and do boxes? See, Rives? So I'm cleaning this up, all the leftover drywall, and I'm going to put plexiglass over this. I want people to enjoy this.